since the notes were here. So I'm just going to really quickly go through and kind of talk about what we talked about earlier. Yeah, go for it. So what we talked about earlier are ratio tables and tape diagrams, okay? And it's really just different ways of setting up an equivalent ratio and being able to identify what ratios are equivalent, okay, so that we can move forward with increasing certain amounts of things. In this one, we talked about chairs to tables in the classroom, right? And so if we wanted to keep a ratio of 4:1 chairs to tables, then whenever we increase the chairs, we also have to increase the amount of tables that we have. So that's what that ratio is for. It's saying that, okay, in our class we want a 4:1 ratio. Well, what does a 4:1 ratio look like of chairs to tables if there's actually 36 chairs in the classroom, which is what I currently have due to the amount of students I had last year. So if we had 36 chairs at a ratio of 4, for every 4 chairs there is 1 table, that means if the chair amount increases to 36, okay, or it gets multiplied by 9, we have to do that to the other side as well to keep the ratio equivalent. So we go from 4 is multiplied by 9 to get to 36. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other side to balance out that ratio. So 9 times 4 equals 36, and then 1 times 9 equals 9. So if we increased the chairs to 36, the tables would increase to 9 if there was a 4:1 ratio of chairs to tables. Now, what if we were combining rooms together? And we said, okay, we're getting as many people as we can in one room, and so we need to increase the chairs to 100, okay? What does that mean for our tables if we have a 4:1 ratio chairs to tables? And the reason it's not even arbitrarily or randomly selected that we have a 4:1 ratio, we have a 4:1 ratio because we want 4 people at each desk. That was what my groups were set up like. 4 people at each desk, okay? So you have 4:1. 4 chairs to 1 table, okay? So if you have 36 students, you need 9 tables to have 4 students sit at each desk. So we have this tape diagram which kind of visually represents it, and we have this ratio table which numerically represents it. But then let's look at that in like an actual picture format, right? An actual, like, we have a table here. Sorry about that. I'll have it cleared next time. Have a good one, man. What's that? Oh, that's one of our maintenance workers. We got all kinds of people are still at the school. It's just not the teachers and the students, so they still have to do all kinds of work on our school.
I can see him.
Yeah, so you've seen him around campus before. Have a good one, man. He's always here. He always helps fix everything around our school. Yeah, you'd see him out driving the truck sometimes in the playground.
Oh,
Yeah. He's the one that's beard was rivaling mine for a while, but now I don't have a beard, so he beats me. All right, so
I don't get I don't get it.
that's okay, Betsy. I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be difficult for you to get this material, so I'm going to be providing you with some supplemental material that will help you understand this, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for sticking with me, though.
Okay.
All right, so we have our table. So if we have one table, how many chairs are we going to have around that table? If our ratio is for every 1 table, we have 4 chairs, or for every 4 chairs, we have 1 table, how many chairs are we going to have?
9.
If we have 1 table, how many chairs?
4.
4. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll just put that these are chairs. Not copyright symbols, chairs. So now we say, okay, awesome. This is the perfect ratio because I build groups of 4. That's what I like. That's why on the schedule there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I like groups of 4. So I wanted to make sure that in my classroom last year that I had a 1 table to every 4 chair ratio, or a 4-to-1 ratio chairs to tables. Now, obviously, I ended up having to multiply that by 9 because I ended up having 34 students last year, and sometimes I would have up to 36, okay? And so I had to increase the number of students that were going to be in my class to the number of chairs I needed, right? So I said, I'm not going to have just 4 chairs, okay? I'm going to have 36 students. So I need to multiply this whole thing by 4. That literally means this 4 times. So let's take a look and see what that looks like 4 times. How many chairs are going to go around each table? How many chairs are going to go around each table? Eric, go for it.
4.
4.
4.
Was that Omar too that said that?
Yeah.
Nice, Omar. Good work, man. So this is what?
16.
Yeah, so this is only how many tables?
4 tables.
This is only 4 tables, okay? Which means that we go from 4 times 16, okay? How much space am I going to take up if I try to visually represent the increase of times 9? Am I going to have any room? Am I going to have any room on this paper to do this? Because how many more tables would I have to draw? No, I wouldn't, because how many more tables would I have to draw to get to 36 chairs?
2 more.
Okay, let's see if I drew 2 more tables.
More.
Okay, so now I got 2 more tables drawn, which means I need how many chairs total for 2 more tables?
4.
Total for 2 more tables.
Oh.
All together. If I have 2 more tables and I have for every table there's 4 chairs, how many total chairs do I need for 2 tables?
3.
How many chairs do I need for 2 tables?
Oh. 8.
8. So we'll put 4 here. And we'll put 4 here. My classroom's starting to get really crowded, isn't it? So now, how many tables do I have?
6.
6. And then how many, if I have 6 tables, how many chairs do I have? 24. And without counting each chair, how do I know that I have 24? Right. So I went, how many tables do I have? This went from 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This went to 6 tables, which means now that this is 1 times 6, I have to times 4 by what?
6.
By 6. And I get 4 times 6 is 24. So for 6 tables, I need to make sure I have 24 chairs. And in fact, I did this because this was what I planned for you guys. I had 24 students on my roster, and I was not planning. My wife said I was in denial about it. I kept saying we were going to go back in summer, or after summer, and I kept thinking that we were going to go back. So I was planning to go back. And so one of the things I was planning on is how many tables I would need. And I could easily figure this out just using the ratio. And I wanted to do this because this is a practical way that I actually use ratios in the real world to kind of make sense out of things and make sense more out of the relationships between two quantities.
Mr. Papua,
Yes.
right now I don't have my notebook. I don't know where I left it somewhere, but I don't know where it is right now, so I can't write this all down.
Take a screenshot.
Okay.
When in doubt, take a screenshot so you can copy it down later.
Okay.
Okay, we were at 11:15, or 11:14 I should say.
Okay.
Perfect, which means we're going to be moving into the small group ELA. I just wanted to wrap up the ratio tables and tape diagram, and I want to take any questions that people have about this, because this is really what we're focused on up until exit ticket 7. So is there any questions on this or confusion? Anything you need me to go over? We really need to understand that ratios are looking at the relationships between two quantities or two amounts of something. Yes, okay. So I'm gonna thank you for bringing that up because I want to take the time to address this again. For those of you who were unable to move forward in the math, it's because Schoology is not working correctly. For me, it's apparently not happening to everybody because I talked to Miss Sims and it's not happening to her. But it is happening to me, and I have put in a help request through Schoology. I will check again to see if it's gotten better, but as of me grading it yesterday, and Anthony can verify because he was here with me, wanting me to grade it, and I just could not access it. And I thought, okay, by the time I get home, and I even told him this, by the time I get home, it should be ready to go, and I'll grade it then, and then you can move on. Well, it's not. And I could not grade Abby's, and I could not grade Joseph's work, and I could not grade Anthony's work. And I think there was one other student that